Okay, when you picture someone who's really, truly wealthy, what's the first image? Is it like winning the lottery? Or maybe landing that corner office, the CEO job? Or do you think of someone just incredibly disciplined, tracking every single penny? It's kind of easy to think getting rich means you need massive luck or, extreme sacrifice. But what if there's another way, a simpler path, maybe, one that's almost effortless?
Today we're doing a deep dive into a classic, David Bach's The Automatic Millionaire. Our mission here is to pull out the absolute core ideas from this book. It really challenges that whole idea that you need a huge salary or tons of discipline to build wealth. Instead, Bach says it's all about creating an automatic system. This isn't just another finance book. It's more like a blueprint for thinking differently about your money.
Exactly. And I think what makes it stick, especially for listeners who are already, pretty finance savvy, is its simplicity.
Yeah.
It's almost radical. It doesn't ask you to time the market perfectly or stick to some crazy strict budget. The core promise is building wealth using automation, that fundamental idea of paying yourself first and then just letting compound interest do its thing over time. It's about setting up your financial life so it just works for you instead of the other way around.
That really is a powerful shift in thinking. So, okay, let's unpack that, starting with Bach's first big principle, pay yourself first. Now, for many of you listening, this isn't a brand new concept. We hear it all the time. But what's the deeper insight from Bach? Why is this one simple thing the absolute cornerstone of his automatic system and not just, well, good advice?
Well, the deeper insight, I think, especially for an informed audience, isn't just the what. It's the how and maybe the why it actually works or sometimes fails. Bach really understood human psychology. See, when you pay yourself first, you're not just waiting to see what's left over at the end of the month, which, let's be honest, is usually not much, right? You're flipping the script. You're changing the order of operations for your money. It's like a behavioral hack. It means your future doesn't depend on your willpower, which we all know fades. It's a finite resource. So by making that savings commitment up front, automatically you make wealth building the priority over just spending, even if it feels a bit weird at first.
Right, and that leads straight into the mechanism that makes pay yourself first actually stick. Not just a nice idea, but something that works consistently, and that's make it automatic.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Best intentions to save, then life happens and poof.
Yeah.
Why is automation the key? Why is that the antidote to us just falling off the wagon?
Automation is like the silent partner for your financial goals. It takes the decision-making burden off your shoulders. Think about the mental effort, the cognitive load of manually transferring money or checking balances all the time, deciding, okay, where should this go? When you automate it, like a direct deposit from your paycheck straight into your 401k, or maybe a weekly transfer into savings, you just bypass all that friction. You bypass the temptation, too. Once it's set up, the system just does the work. Your money goes where it needs to. You don't even have to think about it. It turns those good intentions into, well, guaranteed actions.
Okay, so the money is being saved automatically. Now, this is where Bach shows us the real engine of wealth building. It's something we all kind of get conceptually, but maybe don't fully appreciate the power of compound interest. Beyond the textbook definition, what's the key Bach insight here? How does he make compounding feel truly transformative, especially for someone who gets the math but maybe hasn't seen it work for them yet?
Yeah, the Bach insight isn't just that compounding works money earning returns on its returns. We get that. It's about consistency fueled by automation. That's the key link. He really hammers home that time in the market matters more than timing the market. And that's not just a catchy phrase. It's a direct pushback against that paralysis many feel, trying to find the perfect time to invest.
Right, which never comes.
Exactly. Automation cuts right through that anxiety. It ensures your money is constantly working, constantly compounding, no matter what the market's doing day to day. And the other critical piece, the earlier you automate this, the less actual cash you need to put in over your lifetime to hit those big goals. That's the aha moment for a lot of people. Automation just lowers the effort needed to get time on your side.
And to make that power really hit home, Bach came up with the famous Latte Factor. It's such a simple, relatable idea. How those small, almost invisible daily spends can add up to, frankly, shocking amounts over time. You know, the classic example, that $5 coffee every day. That's $150 a month right there. Lots of finance folks point this out, but how does Bach's automatic philosophy turn this observation into something you can actually use to build wealth?
The brilliance of the Latte Factor, the way Bach uses it, isn't just guilt-tripping you about coffee.
Right.
It's about identifying that money as redirectable capital. Small streams that can become a river. It's not about depriving yourself necessarily, it's about conscious prioritizing. So you spot that $150 a month, maybe it's coffee, maybe it's lunches out, whatever, these little habitual things. And then crucially, you set up an automatic transfer to move that exact amount into an investment account each month. Suddenly, that $150 isn't just gone, compounded over decades. It could easily grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars. The insight is seeing those tiny leaks not as problems, but as untapped potential wealth. And then you plug the leak automatically. It's a really direct, easy way to pay yourself first without feeling like you're making a huge sacrifice.
That's a really important distinction. It's not about constant willpower. It's about a one-time setup. Okay, so let's get practical. Where can you apply this automation idea? It's not just for one general savings pot. It can really supercharge key parts of your financial life. Let's start with retirement. Many listeners probably have a 401k or similar plan at work. How does Bach push us to think beyond just, contribute something?
Bach really pushes us to fight that inertia, that tendency to just contribute the minimum, or maybe not even enough to get the full employer match, which is just leaving free money on the table.
Yes.
Like a guaranteed 50% or 100% return instantly. Crazy not to take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Automatic Millionaire approach says, step 1, automatically contribute at least enough to get that full match. Non-negotiable. Then the next step he suggests is setting up an automatic increase in your contribution percentage each year, maybe just 1%. You time it with your annual raise, you likely won't even feel the difference in your take-home pay. But that small automated increase year after year, the long-term impact on your compounded growth is massive. It's about optimizing what's available almost effortlessly.
Okay, beyond retirement, there's the emergency fund.
Yeah.
That's safety net, right?
Right.
Usually 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Again, the key is automating contributions, putting money aside into a separate, easy-to-reach savings account. From Bach's viewpoint, what's the specific edge automation gives you in building this fund compared to just, planning to save for it?
The specific edge is protection. It protects your actual wealth-building engine. Think about it. What do most people do when a big, unexpected expense hits, if they don't have cash set aside?
They read their investments, or worse, pile on credit card debt.
Exactly, which totally derails long-term progress. An automatically funded emergency account acts like a buffer, a firewall. It keeps your long-term investment safe and working, compounding away. Even when life throws you a curveball like a job loss or a medical bill, it removes that panic and prevents you from falling into high-interest debt traps. It insulates your progress.
Makes sense. Okay, another big one Bach talks about for building wealth automatically is homeownership. Owning your home can be a fantastic strategy. Now, automating the mortgage payment itself is pretty standard stuff, but Bach has this neat little trick. If you can swing it, make bi-weekly payments instead of monthly. How does that small automated tweak make such a difference?
Ugh, this is classic Bach. A tiny change, automated, huge result. When you switch to bi-weekly, you're essentially making 26 half payments a year, which adds up to 13 full monthly payments instead of the usual 12.
Right, you sneak in one extra payment.
Exactly. And you barely notice that extra half payment hitting every couple of weeks. But over the life of a standard 30-year mortgage, that simple automated change can knock years off your loan term and save you potentially tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest payments. It's just a brilliant example of strategic automation creating serious leverage.
Okay, and finally, let's hit debt, especially that nasty high-interest debt like credit card that can feel like an anchor, right? Bach's approach is, again, automate. Automate extra payments until the debt is totally gone. But the real magic, the automatic millionaire part of this, happens after the debt is paid off, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That's the crucial second stage. First, yes, use automation like a weapon against that high-interest debt. Attack it relentlessly. Make extra payments automatic. Treat it like the financial emergency it is. But here's the step people miss. Once that debt is finally zeroed out, you don't just stop those payments. You redirect that same automatic payment amount. You've already proven you can live without that money each month.
Right, you're used to it being gone.
Precisely. So now, without changing your budget or lifestyle at all, that money automatically starts flowing into your savings, your investments. It's a seamless switch from debt elimination to supercharged wealth building. That redirection is key. It turns what was a major financial drain into a powerful engine for growth.
All right, now here's a point from the book that might raise some eyebrows, especially for listeners who are, diligent budgeters. Bach actually says, don't rely on budgeting. That sounds counterintuitive. How does he justify that? What's the thinking there about our behavior and money?
Yeah, this is where he really shakes things up.
Mm-hmm.
His argument is that traditional budgeting, tracking every penny, categorizing everything, constantly checking if you're on track, it often fails. Why? Because it depends almost entirely on willpower and constant vigilance. He compares it to, like, trying to lose weight by meticulously counting every single calorie forever.
It's exhausting.
Exactly. It's exhausting. It's not sustainable for most people long term. You slip up, you get discouraged. Maybe you have a cheat day that turns into a cheat month.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just give up. Bach saw that willpower is unreliable. It's finite.
Right? You pour all this energy into sticking to the plan, then you inevitably fall short, feel bad, and maybe ditch the whole thing. But with automation, it's just different. By sending your money where it needs to go, savings, investments, debt, payoff, before you even see it, before you can spend it, automation basically does the hard work for you. It removes the need for that constant tracking and that daily battle of wills. Your money is working correctly behind the scenes. No daily stress, no emotional roller coaster. It's actually a pretty elegant fix for a very human problem. So let's pull this all together, this automatic path to millionaire status. What does it really boil down to? What are the absolute key steps for someone listening who wants to put this into action?
Yeah, it really comes down to a few core actions all linked together, all powered by automation. First, commit to starting early. Even if it's small amounts, just start. Second, automatically save a set percentage of every single paycheck. Maybe it's 10%, maybe 15%, maybe more if you can. Just make it automatic. Third, consistently invest that money. Don't just let it sit in savings forever. Fourth, and this is a big one, actively fight lifestyle inflation. Don't just spend more because you start earning more. Keep that savings rate going up. And then fifth, you need patience. You have to let compounding do its thing over decades. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. The central idea isn't about having a massive income. It's about discipline through systems. Pay yourself first, make it automatic, let time do the heavy lifting. Automation takes the emotion out of it. It takes the need for heroic discipline out of it. It reduces the stress. It just makes becoming wealthy feel almost inevitable.
It really is powerful because it's so simple, isn't it? The secret isn't some complicated trading strategy or hitting it big. It's just steady, consistent, almost invisible progress, driven by automatic actions. It shifts wealth building from this constant struggle into a system that just runs. Small, consistent steps, automated. That's how ordinary people really can become millionaires over time. So what does all this mean for you listening in right now?
I think the biggest takeaway from David Bach's work is just how simple yet incredibly powerful automation can be. It shows that building wealth isn't necessarily about huge sacrifices or getting lucky. It's about setting up smart systems that work for you day in and day out without needing your constant attention. It's about making your money work harder for you, maybe even harder than you work for it.
Absolutely. And what's really striking is how accessible this is. It doesn't matter what your income is today or what your financial background looks like. It's not about the starting amount as much as it is about starting and making that start automatic. Which kind of leads to an important question for you to think about. Yeah, here's something to chew on. If you could pick just one thing today, maybe one small daily expense you could identify and start redirecting automatically. Or maybe just one automatic transfer you could set up right now into savings or investments. Knowing what you now know about compounding over the long haul, where would you start redirecting your future wealth automatically? Just give that some thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Automatic Millionaire. We really hope it helps you feel empowered to set up your own automatic path to financial freedom.